wanted to update everybody on the biggest issue that we've got in this region. We've already talked about it twice. It's called digital connectivity, right? So there is a group called Digital Divide, which I chair. It's sponsored by East Anglian MPs. George Freeman fronts it up. And 2 weeks ago, we met with Matt Hancock, who, as well as is the new minister, is actually the local MP, which was quite useful. So we actually met just down the road 2 weeks ago. Digital Divide, I guess, is NFU, CLA, Federation of Small Business, Countryside Alliance. Our involvement, I guess, is that we run 16,000 mobile phones and 6,500 landlines. So I've got a team that this matters to every second of the blinking day. So an update in terms of where we're at. Norfolk is 87%, 24 meg lines. Suffolk is 85% as we sit right now. The plan for both of them, because there is extra money coming back from BT as lines are being taken up, and I'll cover that in a minute. And local authorities are putting some money in. Norfolk just announced it. In fact, it was headlines in the EDP middle of the week. 95% is the target both for Norfolk and Suffolk. Suffolk by 2019, Norfolk by 2020. So that's another 3-4 years from now, even to get 95%, right? So a real challenge in terms of what I call fixed broadband connectivity. Separate to this, some will know that Cable and Wireless has been bought by Vodafone. Actually, in terms of some of their infrastructure, Cable and Wireless have got, in terms of the main lines, a lot running in to the main digital centres, but clearly not out into the vast countryside. So broadband is going to be a challenge. No matter what happens by 2020, 5% of premises are not going to get it. Rob and I know most of those are farms, right? So welcome to our world. One other thing just to pick up on, of those that are enabled now, only 40% have been taken up. So the first thing that you actually get to is that households are being enabled. It's a real frustration for these guys. They've put the money in the infrastructure. Everyone's moaning about it, but nobody is actually connecting up. I live in a village well out in the countryside. I'm getting 40 megabits now, and we're a mile plus from the box. And the only reason that I've done that is that I basically got one of our providers in to completely rescope it, brought BT in to put me a new box inside, put Wi-Fi through the house. It wasn't expensive, but it's completely transformed it. So there's a degree of self-help that we need to point out to people. Actually, when you do enable it, they don't blink, you will take it up. We've had the same frustration. We run a Wi-Fi network called Thinking Wisp. It's a CIC. It comes across the fens here. We've got 1,000 Wi-Fi connections. In fact, all of the internet into the AF building is Wi-Fi. I have ordered a tube from BT last June, and even now Outreach can't tell me when it's going to come in. You know, that's one of the challenges that we've got is the I've been very public in saying that BT and Openreach should be split. I've no question about that.
They should be.
They should be. Yeah, absolutely no question about that. Openreach isn't fit for purpose, right? And I'll tell you. Can I tell you why? And it's a Chinese one as well. UK Power Networks. Do you know who owns them? Hutchinson. And so we do electricity installations, we do telecom installations constantly, because we run nearly 11,000 electricity meters. The difference between those two in terms of the way that they operate is like chalk and cheese. So is it, you know, you've heard all of this before, and I know it's not your area. So one of the challenges we've got with our own Wi-Fi network is that we'll get people moaning and moaning, we want Wi-Fi connections, and you tell them standard connections £18.50 a month. We're not paying that, because the blinking televisions say we can do you it for £3.50. So actually there is a lack of take-up by the population. So they're moaning and groaning about it, but they're not actually doing anything about it. So some of this is self-help. On the mobile side, I don't know whether everyone's caught up, but the government legislation in effect now is 90% by the end of the year will be 4G across the region. I've seen the maps, and if we work to it, actually it'll be over 90%, about 95%. There's a project going on at the moment called Project Beacon, which is basically restructuring where all of the masts are, and it's a joint project between Telefonica, O2 and Vodafone. Covers the whole country, and we've got the maps in terms of where those masts are going. Biggest problem, right, and one of them's Robert's and ours members, it's getting landowners. National Trust are the worst, but it's getting landowners to do them. And the second is actually just getting the planning permission through. So there's a great frustration from the providers who want to roll this out, and there's a lot of money being spent, that actually part of the problem we've got with mobile phones, guys, is that it was our problem. When we rolled out the systems, everyone said we can't put masts there, it'll fry the poor children's brains. And we restricted that. It's only this year that Essex County Council have allowed masts on its land. Right? So I can tell you from the provider's point of view, EE are rolling out particularly their emergency service, and particularly on major roads. That's their priority. And so the mobile providers, as far as I can see, are actually doing quite a good job. Part of our problem, right, is that we all want one of these. And actually, the aerial in there is pretty useless. We get in the car, we put it in our glove compartment, and we think that we can actually pick up signals. In the good old days, we used to put it in and we had an aerial. So there are some basics like switching your phone off. If your SIM card is more, switch it off and on. If your SIM card is older than 3 years, then change it. So there are some real basics that actually we need to educate people about, because all we get is a lot of frustration, but we don't help ourselves. The final thing to say is that there's a lot of devices on the market. This is the yellow box, others are available. And there are, we've sold from 3 different providers. Basically, all you need is a plug. It connects, it's petware, connects to 4G, and you can get 60 megabytes. And you basically take that, set it up anywhere, and you've got your own Wi-Fi network. Now that together with satellite means that actually there is a solution for anybody who wants broadband. So the frustration from my point of view is everyone's moaning about it. There is a degree of self-help that we all need to get involved with, because the solutions are there. Having said that, the meeting that we had with Matt Hancock, which we had all the major providers at, was really a brainstorming about what we need to do next, which is voucher schemes for the final 5%. So we're putting some plans together, and hopefully there will be some government support. There are some voucher schemes now for satellite, but this is really just pushing that last 5%. That's it. Thank you so much.